we're going to move on into the world of college football for the rest of the podcast. I'm bringing that back, by the way. The world of college football. Dave used to always make fun of me for saying that. But the thing we're going to look at first, biggest X factors this season for 2016. Who you got?
Well, my biggest one, my number one is a pretty obvious one, Nick Chubb from Georgia. And reason being is because we didn't get to see it as much of Nick Chubb as we should have last year due to a nasty ACL injury that cut his season short. But I think that with him coming back, hopefully completely healthy, and then Georgia revamping the staff there, a new coaching staff, a new season, a fresh and hopefully rejuvenated Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is the X factor, I think, to look at, especially in the SEC, but possibly the Power 5 conferences. I really think that Nick Chubb is going to be something special to watch this year. I hope he is, but I definitely think he's an X factor, certainly for his team.
Well, and I mean for Nick Chubb, not only coming back from the injury, but the thing you got to think of, new head coach Kirby Smart coming in, and Kirby Smart's not an offensive coach. He's a defensive coach. So most people coming in are going to be like, oh, I want to see that defense out of Kirby Smart. What's this Georgia Bulldog defense going to look like under our defensive coach, to where Nick Chubb's got to be able to do something and say, hey, I'm going to help this team, because we all know what happened when Todd Gurley had a good season, Brandon. Where did he go? He went to the NFL, and now he is killing it. Straight killing it for the Rams. So that's another thing, because Kirby Smart, more of a defensive-minded, people may be focusing on the defense.
Absolutely. Ricky, who you got?
Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm going to throw a couple at you.
Okay, I figured you would.
You tell me what you think.
I've got another one for you, but you throw a couple at me.
The first one I'm thinking is, and of course, when I think about this, it's like, okay, should it be an X factor of a guy that everyone knows his name, or like that guy where it's like, oh, I don't know him, but he's got to step up for his team? This is a guy where everybody knows his name. It's Baker Mayfield. And the reason,
who's that?
And the reason being is your team goes to the college football playoff and you get straight embarrassed by Clemson. He's got to be the X factor this season for the Sooners. He's got to be the reason that they get back to the playoff, and he's got to be the reason they go to the national trophy.
National trophy.
As Phyllis from Mulga would say. But I'm not saying they will go to the national trophy.
Cow turd.
Yeah, cow turd. But
we need to just get that as a little thing to play. Just every once in a while, little soundbite. Just cow turd.
We'll call Feinbaum. See if we can get that soundbite from him.
He won't mind.
Yeah, I don't think he will. He loves us.
We're tight.
Yeah, we're tight. Especially you with your SEC ties. But yeah, Mayfield's got to be the guy, especially if Oklahoma's going to go anywhere this year.
Yeah, he has to be. He's going to be the leader. He was last year. I think that they have a lot of faith in him. The players back him. The coaches back him. Baker Mayfield's a stud. He's the guy. He'll be fine.
I'm going to give you one more quarterback.
Okay.
Joshua Dobbs, Tennessee. This was a Tennessee team.
It's a big year for Tennessee.
I remember this just very vividly. You were the one, vividly. You were the one. Just ignore what I did there. I said the word vividly
wrong. Don't worry,
wrong,
I did. Don't worry.
Tried to make fun of myself.
Out of my mind.
But you did the preview for Tennessee last year.
Yeah.
And you talked about this Joshua Dobbs kid. And when I was listening to you do the preview back then, I went, who's Joshua Dobbs? Like, who? And Tennessee, to me, didn't have the best of seasons.
No.
And Tennessee is due. They are due for a good, they need it. They need a good season. I mean, last year, 9-4, you could say, Ricky, that's a good season. To me, not the best. Not what I was expecting out of them. I was expecting maybe a double-digit win season. I mean, they did play a great game earlier in the year that went double overtime against Oklahoma, but Joshua Dobbs needs to be the guy. And both of my quarterbacks have the same thing in common. They have to be the BMOC and prove that I am going to will this team to victory. They're going to have, I'm calling it right now, going to have a hell of a game. Week 2, September 10th, same weekend as last year, this time on ABC, neutral site against my Virginia Tech Hokies.
Now, would you be spelling that, you say hell of a, would it be hell of a or hell of a?
With an A, hell of a.
So like HELLUVA, not HELL space.
I mean,
OF space.
I'll just say HELLA because if it was Virginia, I'd throw the UVA in there. Get it? Because UVA is their acronym.
Sure, that was a great pun there.
It was a great pun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a great game, I feel like, that second week, especially because Virginia Tech coming in with a new coach. How are they going to do? But Joshua Dobbs, X factor for the Vols.
All right, so I got another one coming at you. We all know about Josh.
Big boy.
We all know about Josh Rosen. We know how well he did in his first year last year. UCLA could do better. Plenty of room to improve, but I think he improves. However, some of his receivers from last year not returning. How about this guy, Ishmael Adams? I know you don't know him.
Hit me with some knowledge, Brandon.
D-back turn receiver. They converted him over to receiver in the spring because they led the Pac-12 in pass defense last year. They thought that they could afford to bring him over to the other side of the football and make a move like this. Jim Moore is really high on the kid, and this could be a speedster that Josh Rosen is going to this season. And he brought back an interception, 96 yards for a touchdown last season. This guy could be the spark plug that UCLA needs to really get things going this year and really give Josh Rosen that go-to guy down the field. So, Ishmael Adams, you're probably going, honestly, who in the heck is that? And before I had looked at it, so was I. But Josh Rosen, we know how good he could be, and this could be one of those moves that, they're doing an E60 on later in the year.
I'm going to give you a number and this is kind of a Bruin defensive number across the board. You ready for my number?
Yeah.
31. That is the amount of points that is going to be given. Like, that's the key when it comes to points given up by that defense. Because if I look last year, if that defense gave up less than 31 points, 16 to Virginia, 3 to UNLV, 23 to BYU, 30 to Arizona, 24 Cal, 31 Colorado, 0 and 9 Oregon State, Utah, they win that game. If it's anything over than 31, 38 ASU, 56 Stanford, 31 Washington State, 40 USC, they lose that game. At 31 is kind of like the over-under point because at 31, they were 1-1. So under that, you win. Over it, you lose.
31 or bust.
Yeah, 31 or bust,
31
basically.
Or bust.
If they score 31, it's iffy. But if it's under that, you win. Over that, you lose. That's what it was last year.
Well, that's something that needs to get better, and I think that that's something that UCLA probably took a look at and tried to address. But I think that, seasons are definitely up and down, and things could change dramatically in 1 year.
And I was going to hit you with this, too. Their bowl game, they gave up 37 points to Nebraska. That was a loss. That was a loss for the Bruins. So, and Rosen's going to need a defense to help him. He can't do it all on his own. You could say that again for Dobbs and Mayfield, but we saw what Josh Rosen can do last year. We saw it. And, I mean, the game I remember is the one that me and you were basically were the pick against. You picked UCLA, I picked BYU. I was all over the Cougar bandwagon last year.
You were
as you roll
crazy.
Your eyes at me.
You were crazy.
As you roll your eyes at me. I got one more for you.
Okay.
Royce Freeman, Oregon State. Not Oregon State, Oregon Ducks. And the reason why I say that is right at this point, are we sure who the Oregon quarterback is going to be? I mean, last year Vernon Adams wasn't that good. Now it's between two guys. You either have Travis Johnson or Dakota Prukop.
Or his cousin, Johnson.
Johnson. It's basically one of those guys. It's right now, it could be the transfer coming in Dakota, or it could be the redshirt freshman in Travis Johnson. And because of that uncertainty, you got to go to a guy that is the junior coming in, the running back that you've had for a few years. Royce Freeman has to go, hey, whoever the guy is, I got your back, dog. I got your back. We're going to win some games this year, because last year was not Oregon Duck. That was not Oregon Duck-like. Like, they completely fell off the radar after going to the national title game and losing to the Buckeyes.
It wasn't the best season for them. But I think
it wasn't terrible.
I think they ended strong. Yeah. They had a very rough late beginning to middle of the season. Mm-hmm. It was rough for Oregon. They ended strong, but what they need to do is they really need to get off to a hot start this year. But Freeman, I think, definitely could help them to that start.
Well, he's got to, because the one thing is, last year we were all talking Vernon Adams. Could he be the next Mariota brother? This year it's like, we've got two, and you're shaking your head doing like the no, because he wasn't. But the thing I look at this schedule, the big key is that there's no Michigan State on it. There's no Michigan State, and I mean, you get Virginia week 2, you get Nebraska. Those are your big out of conference. They could win those with some solid play. So focus on the Pac-12, then you'll be able to hopefully do well. But the quarterback play's got to be there. That's why I feel like they could lean on Royce Freeman a little bit this season. Do you have any more X factors?
Those were it. Those were it for me.
So, okay, I want you guys down below. Tell us down below who you guys got this college football season as an X factor.